Hey, it's Matt with Replit. Today I'm going to show you how you can add a custom domain to your Replit project. So that means any URL you have, you'll be able to direct to the project you have deployed on Replit. But the first thing you need to do that is a deployment on Replit. So if I go to my deployment, you can see it's called hat tip. And under the deployments tab in the settings section, I have my domain here. Also, an aside, if my voice sounds a little weird, I am under the weather, so I apologize, but we're getting better, so it's all good. I have my domain here, and it's at hattip.replit.app, but maybe I don't want it at hattip.replit.app. Maybe I want it at hattip.ai, because AI is the cool thing now, right? But I need to first purchase that domain to link it. But if we go to this app, just really quickly to see what it does, I have an app that allows us to add hats to any image. It's amazing, right? I'll link this in the description so you can try this app out if you want. That's great and all, but we want to link our domain. So for the purposes of this demo, I have purchased hattip.cc from Cloudflare. So I really shelled out for this one. I think this was $8. I'm not sponsored. This is coming out of my own pocket right here. I could be sponsored. If you're out there, if you work at Cloudflare and you want to sponsor me to buy some domains, hit me up. But we're going to be using Cloudflare. They have a great UX. There are a bunch of other domain providers out there, Namecheap, GoDaddy, I don't know, Squarespace domains, bought Google domains. They all work great. The setup is slightly different, but if you follow the principles here, I think you should figure it out because they all have DNS records. So really just have to figure out where the DNS record settings are. So what we're going to do here in our domain overview on Cloudflare, we're going to go to DNS records. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple records. So we're going to add an A record and we're going to add a TXT record. I've been doing this for a little while. I do not know the ins and outs of DNS management. You don't have to know the ins and outs of DNS management, which is why we're just going to copy and paste some stuff here. I know there's an A record. I know there's an A record. There's no AA or AAA records. Those are batteries, but I digress. So what we're going to do, we're going to click add record. It's going to be an A record. This is important. You're going to have to put the @ symbol for the name. That specifies the root address, hat-tip.cc. Now, if you wanted this to be at a different subdomain, so for example, like on my blog, I have a guest book and it's at guestbook.mattpalmer.io. And it's attached to a Replit deployment. For the name, you'd put something like guest book, right? And Cloudflare does a really good job of showing you exactly what that is. But we're going to use @ and then we're going to go back to Replit. We're going to click link a domain. We're going to type in our domain, hattip.cc. We're going to click next. And we're going to get the records that we need to point at this application, right? So you can see there, we have an IP address. We'll save that. And then we're going to add another record, this time a TXT record. TXT, okay. Hello. Jeez. Matt can't select from a menu, RIP. We'll go back over here. We'll copy this. We're going to go back to Cloudflare. I accidentally oh my gosh, absolute disaster. Okay, we'll paste that in, save. Now we have our TXT record. Now we have our A record. One other thing, I would recommend not using the Cloudflare proxy to start. That can sometimes cause issues. This should be good to go. It typically takes between 5 and 10 minutes for this to propagate in my experiments. So don't be too worried if you go back here and click link domain and it says verifying and you can't actually access this. Again, it typically takes 5 to 10 minutes. Once you do this, you'll be able to go to that URL. Stick around, I'll hang out, and then I'll join you back here once this is done to make sure everything works. So I chilled out a bit. That's hard to do. It's hard for me to be patient, but more than just making videos on Replit, I'm also here to give life advice because I know that's what everyone's asking for. And so we're practicing patience and acceptance. And you can't rush all the time. Sometimes you have to let the DNS records come to you instead of striving for your DNS records. But even though if I click check status, this isn't done verifying, I can click this and I get my app. So just like that, we took our URL that we purchased, our domain that we purchased from a provider. We configured it with an A and a TXT record and linked it to a Replit deployment. And now we're good to go. We can use that record. We can use that URL as an alias for our Replit app. And we have a custom domain. Again, I'm Matt at Replit. This has been how you can connect a custom domain to your Replit project in just a few minutes. Catch you later. Peace.